Pulled out the Hive Chapter 8. If you can win 3 in a row, you can directly get 300,000. The higher the winning streak, the more money you get. The highest is 10 consecutive wins, and the total prize pool is 5 million. Chapter 7. Welcome Ma Baoguo. Zombies wrapped all over the body. Ask for flowers, ask for evaluation. Million. As far as third-tier cities like Shanghai City are concerned, they can basically meet the expenses of an ordinary family for several lifetimes. Chen Feng finally understood why such a person chose to fight black boxing. The stakes are too great. In the past, when he was at school, he often saw the news. Many people rely on the news of playing black boxing to make their fortune. It's just that there are very few such people. Because the death rate of underground black fists is extremely high. Ordinary people go to fight black boxing, luckily can win, but it is basically impossible to win streaks. Because there are more martial artists who fight black boxing than ordinary people. However, Chen Feng was not worried about anything. Because he is letting the zombies go to the black boxing. The zombies in Resident Evil are slow to move. But if you want to kill the zombie, you can only choose the headshot path. Even if your hands and feet are broken, you can still stand up. This is the horror of the T-virus. Once infected by the T-virus, viruses trigger extremely intense metabolism in the host. High-speed metabolism also gives the host the ability to quickly heal wounds. And the transmission route of the T-virus is also very scary. It can be spread by means of scratches and bites. Chen Feng looked at James and said, "Wrap his whole body with something, don't show the slightest." Hearing Chen Feng's words, James quickly went to find some plastic bags. Began to wrap up the white zombies. The reason why Chen Feng did this was also because he was worried that when the zombie was raised, he would be beaten and bleeding. If the other party happens to be injured too. Blood transmits the T-virus directly. That's the end of it. Although Chen Feng is not a person in this world, I have no feelings for the world. But he wouldn't do such a thing as destroying the world. Soon, James wrapped the zombie in plastic. The white zombie was directly wrapped in a mummy. No skin is exposed. James was still tied tightly. Chen Feng then took the white zombie to the underground black boxing ring. As soon as he arrived here, he heard the cheers and shouts of the mountain-roaring tsunami. Inside an octagon, 2 fighters are fighting. The way the two fought was completely unscrupulous. Basically all kinds of moves are used. When one of the fighters had the upper hand, the spectators below the octagon began to shout this. It's filled with violence and blood. Chen Feng took the white zombies to the preparation area. He looked at the white zombie and said, "Later, no matter how others hit you, give me an honest don't move, and don't allow counterattacks." Chen Feng also didn't know if the white zombie could understand the meaning of his words. After all, he was already a dead man by the T-virus. After waiting for a long time, the 2-player fight in the ring is over. The end result was that a fighter was beaten and fainted. Some of the viewers below who lost their bets threw out their bet vouchers. Then start insulting the losing fighter. It is also an act of releasing stress. At this time, a host in a suit walked onto the octagon. The searchlight at the top of the ring hit him, and the host looked around and said, "Spectators, the next game will be the most anticipated game tonight because we always have a new man in the game. Every time a newcomer appears, it brings an incomparably wonderful game, him. It's about playing a winning streak tonight, he. Whether it will become the next generation of boxing champions, let's wait and see." Quote. Hearing the host's words, the audience below cheered. A lot of people are shouting. The appearance of new people in the stadium is also the most anticipated thing for all the audience. Because newcomers represent the unknown, that time to bet. The gambling component is even greater. The host's voice came again. Tonight's newcomer is our Yukai boxer. He has already fought 7 consecutive ring fights. Let's welcome Yukai boxer. The searchlight on the octagon cage shone on the body of a burly man. His fists were holding strips of cloth, and his muscles were bursting. The crowd below also welcomed Yukai with enthusiastic cheers. There are actually many people who can play 7 games in the octagon cage. The host did not say the winning percentage, apparently because the winning rate was not high. However, this is also a kind of rule in the ring. Generally, when newcomers come, they first send relatively weak fighters. Like Yukai, he is not even a warrior. Just relying on my own exercise to train a tendon meet. Next, let's welcome the newcomer who arrived tonight. His name is Ma Baoguo. The host's voice was full of passion. But when he called out the name of Ma Baoguo, it was very abrupt. Soon, the searchlight began to move and shine on the white zombie. When they saw the appearance of the white zombie, the audience was instantly dumbfounded. Even the host holding the microphone was stunned. Chapter 8. The Undead Existence. Not screaming yet. The white zombie was wrapped in a bag of material all over. It is impossible to tell if it is a man or a woman, and the figure is very thin. Compared with Yukai, a muscular man of nearly 2 meters. The white zombie is exactly like a child. I'm going, what a newcomer the stadium is looking for. Quote. Is this the latest popular boxer outfit, mummy style? If you don't pull a few thin, I'm afraid you can't bear Yukai's punch. Can't the gym be reliable in recruiting new people now? This and there find the comma. The audience below is full of discussion. First chapter previous chapter 8 308 next